Hello, let's play Connections. But first, we reveal our dad joke of the day and this day in history. Oops, if I can do it. All right, there we go. So, for Saturday, May 2nd, two guys walk into a bar. The third one ducks. Yeah, I've been telling that joke since I was young, but oldie but goodie. I do not have a dad joke for Sunday, so if you would like one featured and you're a member, feel free to comment and I will pick one. And I do heavily weight ones that you guys have upvoted. So if you like one, then feel free to give it a like. All right. And this day in history, what do you think happened on May 2nd, 2011? I guess they're definitely, I feel like history should be at least 30 years ago, don't you think? Anyway, that's the rule on the history subreddit. Okay, so May 2nd, 2011, U.S. forces kill Osama bin Laden. You might have guessed that one. On May 2nd, 2011, Osama bin Laden was killed by U.S. forces during a raid on his compound in Pakistan. As leader of Al Qaeda, a terrorist network of Islamist extremists, he had been the target of a nearly decade-long international manhunt. 5 people, including bin Laden and one of his adult sons, were killed by U.S. gunfire. Just after 11:30 p.m. EST on May 1st, President Barack Obama made a televised address from the White House announcing bin Laden's death. So they killed him on May 1st. Well, I guess there's a time zone issue here because in Pakistan, it would have already been May 2nd, I think. But the announcement happened on May 1st. All right, anyway. Time zones. Cool. Well, I would like to thank the following people who started a new month. Thank you to Adelaida Rangel, Brandon Levad, Coastal Ocean, Silver Fear, and Archie Studies. Thank you very much. And Archie Studies, this is your 1-year anniversary as a Tier 2 supporter. So thank you for your year of support at that level. All right, well, let's play Connections. We're finding 4 groups of 4. We've got Post-it, Treasury, Heraldry, Play, Interior, Musical, Mental State, Times Tables, Education, Opera, Psychic, Extrasensory, Globetrotter. I was like, what's a globit? Sorry. Globetrotter, Telepathic, and Ballet. These are right next to each other, first 2, but it made me think Post-it note, Treasury note. But that's probably not it. This is probably our rainbow herring. Musical note and mental note, maybe. So normally this could be a category. It could even be purple. But I think it's our rainbow herring today. Now, why do I think that? Well, they put them in the top 2 rows. Almost always, if there is a rainbow herring, there almost always is a rainbow herring. And when there is one, it's almost always in the top 2 rows. So we are going to run under that assumption until it stops working on a per puzzle basis. So we should think about what each of these. What do I mean by rainbow herring? In case you don't know what that means. So it's a play on the term red herring, which is something that's intentionally added to a puzzle to throw you off, like it's not the solution, but it feels like it could be. We call it a rainbow herring because they actually, the way these puzzles are often constructed is they think of a category and then they build 4 categories out of each word of that fake category. And so each of these will be a different color, meaning each will be in a different category. So Post-it, what would that go with other than blank note? Post-it. I think this isn't a good one to start thinking about. Let's think about Treasury then. Treasury. There are like the departments, presidential advisors, whatever, presidential executive branch departments or something, or I'm trying to think, the cabinet. So Treasury, Interior, Education, and Telepathic. No, Opera. No. What is the 4th one? State. Okay. I think I'm not wearing purple today, but I think I kind of want to try to get purple first anyway. This feels like a puzzle where I can do it. Is this blue? I don't know. It could be blue. It could be yellow. Like, I'm going to mark it blue tentatively. This is a tentative blue. Because on some days it could be blue. On some days it could be yellow. I'm not really sure. Uh, so we can think about musical note, a musical and opera, things you might like go see, a play, a musical, opera, ballet. That feels yellow to me. It's not synonyms, but it's just so straightforward. I don't know, but blue could be as well. But blue involves a bit more trivia, right? You have to know about the executive branch. It's not difficult trivia, but it's still a trivia category. Mental, telepathic, extrasensory, and psychic. I guess that could be even yellow. I'm not sure. I'll have to think about this a little bit if I want to get the reverse rainbow. But these are just like you know, I don't know. It's ESP stuff. I don't know what to say. Mystical mind reading or mystical powers. So that would leave post-it, times table, globetrotter, and heraldry. This has to be purple. Let's see if I can figure it out. Figuring it out is important because if this isn't a category, then that means I have something wrong in my circles. But I'm thinking because it's purple, we could just be using part of it, like post or it, times or tables. Would it be post, time? Oh, it is. Yeah, so these are like newspaper names. The Post, the Herald, the Times, the Globe. So starts with newspaper names. So we'll lock that in as purple. Yeah, starting with newspaper names. Now, let's erase this so it's not ugly. We we have to decide. I do think that given these other ones were so much easier, I do think we do have the executive branch or cabinet positions or whatever you want to call it. Interior, Treasury, Education, State. Okay. That was blue. Good. U.S. cabinet departments. Now, I might as well just clear it all. I should know why I did that. These are both extremely straightforward. Musical, play, opera, ballet, and extrasensory, mental, telepathic, psychic. But I do think this one feels a bit more synonymy, which makes it sort of drift towards yellow. So we're going to try this as green. Musical, play, opera, ballet. Okay, stage performances. I got the reverse rainbow. I wonder what they're calling this. Clairvoyant. Okay, so they are just synonymy. 43 reverse rainbows. If I went for it every day, I'd probably have it much more often. But anyway. Yeah, I think that wasn't too hard. That's why I decided to go for the reverse rainbow, especially once you identify that rainbow herring, it gives you an anchor to think, okay, what category is each of these words building? Because we can basically just assume they're one in each. They do throw you off sometimes. Sometimes it'll be a red herring that isn't one of each color, and you gotta keep that in your head that it's possible. But today it was true. All right, let's look at what difficulty they gave it. He's reading a newspaper. That gives it's a purple guy reading the newspaper. That kind of gives away what purple is. All right, 1.3. Yeah, I mean it was pretty easy. I think we're gonna have a high solve rate here, 86%. Yep. All right. So when it's a high solve rate, there's not much to analyze, but we can take a look. People are getting green and yellow. People are mostly just not getting purple. People who lost are getting green and green, yellow, and green, pretty much exclusively. All right. What are people doing? They're putting heraldry in with treasury. Okay, so if you're not familiar with all the cabinet offices, you may not know what the fourth one is and thinking maybe heraldry would be a cabinet office. I still think probably people are thinking some kind of government office type thing. This is the rainbow. Only 7% fell for the rainbow herring because it's a harder category than green and yellow. So once you get green or yellow, it's no longer a category to even go for. It seems like some people just may not know what heraldry means and are trying it in different things, but I don't know. Okay. Green is 43%, yellow is 32%. Then a big leap down to 6% with the rainbow herring, and then blue, and then purple. Okay. I want to look up the exact definition of heraldry because I know there's like it has something to do with what the okay, let me try to guess. Heraldry is like related to kings, maybe? Related to royalty? Let's look at the Webster definition. The practice of devising, blazoning, or granting armorial insignia and of tracing or recording genealogies. An armorial design. I knew that a herald was one of those flags with the coat of arms or stuff on it, but I guess the recording genealogies is kind of what I was thinking of, like the royal bloodline, for example. I could have sworn heraldry has been used in that way, but maybe I'm mistaken. Okay, well, we all learn something every day, right? That's the goal. Well, how'd you do?